All right, good evening. We're going to call the Board of Directors meeting for May 5th to order. We have some very excited guests here, not nearly as excited as we are. But before we get into that, let's stand for Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready, begin. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. That was great.
Come back everyone.
Seriously. Denise, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, Director Walper.
Here.
Director Berman.
Here.
Director Lohmeyer.
Here.
Director Martinez. Director Wheeler.
Here.
Vice Chair Johnston.
Here.
And Chair Rydell.
Present.
We have a quorum.
All right, so without further ado, we have some very excited performers for us tonight. So what we'll have is Ms. Becky Vogt bring her group up. We're going to have the kids here, and then once they're up here, board, we can fill in behind them so that they have the stage. So come on down.
Awesome. I'm actually choir. Addison, can you lead us?
Good job, Addison.
She's a pro. I think so. Wait, Addison, you part 1 and part 2. Okay, you guys film over here. Over here. And then, Ariella, you guys come over here. Yeah, because you guys are part 1. I did my visual math. That's okay. Part 1, come this way. Part 2, go this way. Perfect. If you're taller, can you stand in the back? And then scooch in, get nice and cozy. So Carmen and Wyatt, you guys want that? Lee, come on forward. Okay, if you're part 2 and you're on the short side, come on in the front. Come on in. Yes, fill it. So come on all the way over here. Yes, all the way over here. Perfect. Okay, part 2 is let's fill in Charlie. There. Sean. Perfect. Are you ready to? All right, choir, give me 5. Okay, I want to make sure I can see everyone. So Savannah, scooch in between Marshall. Okay. This is the elementary, the Estacada Elementary Choir. We meet after school on Wednesdays. Completely voluntary group. These students are amazing. We're going to sing 2 pieces for you that are short and sweet. The first is Viva la Musica, Italian for Long Live the Music, and Shalom Kavarim, Have Peace. So here, without further ado, here's Viva la Musica. Ready?
Viva, viva la musica. Viva, viva la musica. Viva la musica. Viva, viva la musica. Viva, viva la musica. Viva la musica. Viva
They were great. They were awesome. That absolutely breaks an attendance record at a school board meeting.
Travis is on fire, striking kids out.
For a good thing.
You can add that to the ROI.
There you go.
4 innings.
Thank you.
57, 38 for strikes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Meg.
Thank you, Maggie.
Right. Thank you.
Hey, right.
Big kids take a turn.
What's that CTE?
Okay, well, the rest of this meeting's gonna be at 11.
There's a show.
Back to scheduled program.
Maybe or in a couple weeks. I'm not sure. I think maybe it'll ask me.
Good job, Riga.
Nobody wants to stay.
All right.
Back to
That was
just
awesome. We all know, yeah, now it's like boring. Can we just cancel the rest of the meeting and go home? I think that makes sense, so. All right, well, special thank you to Ms. Vogt, and that, as she said, but I want to say it for the record too, in case it was missed, but that is a volunteer group. They meet after school, and she's done an amazing job pulling all those kiddos together, so, yep. Future is bright, for sure. All right, Denise, was the agenda properly notified?
Yes.
All right. Can we get a motion to approve or amend the agenda, please?
Chair Idell, I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
I
Any
didn't catch
discussion?
you second.
John.
Thank you.
Director Wolper,
I
sorry.
don't worry about those kind of details, Denise.
It was a tie. Can you write tie?
All right. All in favor, raise your right hand.
Motion carries.
On to item D, Board of Directors reports. Director Walper.
Yeah, we, the CC, the
CC?
group that Aaron runs,
Oh, CTE.
CTE, thank you. We went on a visit to IROC.
Yep.
And IROC is the new Stanley Hydraulic Tools that I worked for 20-some years. And it sounds like we are going to have a partnership with them, and I'm really excited about it. There's only 2 people there that I know. It's been 18 years since I left, but we had a good afternoon. Got to meet with some of the supervisors in the shop, and they are excited about learning what we can do and what they can do to help, so.
We are
That's it.
excited too.
Good.
Great, thank you. Director Berman.
I was able to attend the CT Advisory Committee meeting. I was invited to be on that, and it went pretty well. It was nice that there was representation from each pathway there. It's off to a good start. There's still a lot to do.
Yes.
I was able to dig into the electrical side quite a bit.
Good.
I'm excited about the program that's getting started here and potentially getting it to a full pre-apprenticeship. But I think there's a night coming up, but maybe Maggie or Danny will have the real information, but I think it's this week, but I'm sure you guys will bring it up. That's all I have.
Awesome, thank you. Director Lohmeyer.
No updates.
No updates. Director Wheeler.
Not much for me. SK Youth Football has opened registration for the next year, so let's get those kids signed up, and have some competitive teams like we always do. And then youth baseball front, everything's in full swing. I don't know if anybody's noticed how many dang people are around the schools every night. Every blade of grass is occupied by multiple human beings.
Yes.
It's wild. The back complex, the makeshift parking area with gravel is just blown up.
Full.
May have got our first casualty of a back window last night at a JV baseball game. It's a faithful Estacadian, so they're okay. And it wasn't me.
Park at your own risk.
Park at your own risk. And the grounds guys are doing a great job just keeping up with spring, because it's intense, so.
Yes, it is.
And they work here and there. I saw them in the stadium yesterday, getting ready for graduation, trimming hedges, so I mean, it's that time of year, so they're doing a good job, so. That's it, about
Awesome.
it.
All right, thank you, sir. Vice Chair Johnston.
Just a couple things. Again, thanks to the teachers and all the staff. They've just been doing an amazing job making sure the kids are caught up, make sure they're on track for ending the year strong. Quick note, I don't know if, I think we did talk about this, but there's 100+ kids in track, middle school track. And then I learned the other day, there's also a very large number that are in the elementary school track as well. So those numbers, my daughter was in it 2 years ago, and I think there was 30 kids, and now there's 100. So hats off, and the coach is doing great communicating with all the families,
Yes.
so,
Yes.
and organizing all of that. And then, yeah, that's it for me. I'm good.
I'll add to your track thing, shameless plug.
Yeah.
One of our alumni won a conference championship.
Let's go!
Yeah. He's going to the Nationals in Kansas City here in a couple weeks.
That's awesome.
So from this
Huge.
track program,
Yes.
good coaches.
All right, I do have a little bit of a list. May break is next week. I know everybody's looking forward to that. So again, teachers, thank you. It's a big, long push. And so I hope all the employees can enjoy a little time of recharging during the May break. So prom was Saturday night. That was a success. So that was good. And it was in Northwest Portland, which is always good to get kids on the other side of town. So it was well attended. I think we sold over 200 tickets, which is pretty substantial. If you go back, 4 or 5 years, it wasn't near that well attended. So kudos to the high school and the students for putting that on and making it fun. Last Saturday was also the state solo competition, so we sent 4 students to state competition. And just for those out there that aren't aware, state solo music competition is not by school size, it's everybody. So it's all the private, all the 6A, all the everybody, magnet schools. And so to have 4 there was great. As far as placing, we had Piper Coy placed 24th, Peyton Vollmer placed 16th. Those are both mezzo-sopranos. Henry Rydell was 4th in the baritone category, and Carter Brewster was 7th in the tuba category. And he's only been playing the tuba, I think, for 2 years. So
That's awesome.
super exciting to have them down there. So Radium Girls was just a week or 2 ago, so well attended, great play. Just another example of our performing arts stepping out of really the comfort zone and getting out of those more well-known comedy shows and doing something serious, which was really well attended. And I think the kids just did a phenomenal job. State choir competition is this Friday, so looking forward to how they do, I believe, down in Corvallis. And then just, because it's May meeting, right? Yeah, so we won't meet again until right at graduation time. So
right.
just looking forward to all of the activities, signing day, the lunch, all of those things that we have on our calendar. But it's a fun time of year, and shout out again to the grounds crew for making it look really good. And I know they have a lot more work to do between now and June 13th as well. But so I'll stop there. I think that's it. Yep, that's it. All right, I didn't miss anybody, did I? I feel like, no, there's nobody online. Okay. All right, district reports, communications department. Maggie and Danny, come on down.
All right, good evening. In communications right now, a couple things we're working on. One thing that we're particularly excited to embark on is just continued budget communication. Our budget is a complex, big thing, and we like to just disperse information over time to the community so they can help understand why we're making these tough decisions, how we got to this point. And I appreciated during the budget meeting Director Walper's comments around better communicating to our community the return on investment of education. A couple years ago, we did a communication right around tax season when your tax statements come in, and we kind of broke down each of the line items and what that goes towards. I think we'd like to do something like that again, and just more education around it. It does get really confusing, especially when you look at your property tax statement and you see 3 or 4 line items for education. You don't know what that goes towards. So we have some work to do there, and I'm excited to work with Scott Pillar and Danny and Josh on some of that communication. We also have really enjoyed communicating about the upcoming CTE night. I know Danny will talk more about that, but you have an invite there. We would love to see you there. And one thing that has been really wonderful is to promote the CTE night and just to raise awareness of the work we're doing around career technical education. We've been doing videos with each career pathway. We've been talking with kids about the value that they are finding from the programs. And just sitting down and interviewing kids, getting them on camera, hearing their stories has been really wonderful to see. Our community has responded well to it. And it's just great to hear the testimony of those kids whose lives are really being changed by the work that's happening in those classrooms. And then lots of end-of-the-year planning and events. I want to commend Josh in particular, who does a great job live streaming graduations and grad walks and 8th grade promotions, making sure we have programs, giving speech practices for people that work with our teleprompter. We really take pride in putting together some great events that our community can engage in as their kids reach those milestones. So we love working on those projects. Some of our recently completed projects, we recently completed our survey season, our parent, student, family, staff surveys. One exciting thing that we saw is we reached our highest ever parent experience survey. We got a 4.08. Our previous highest was a 4.02. So to see that continued growth in that area is really, really exciting, and just a testament to the great intentional work that our buildings, in particular our principals, our staff are doing to close the gap in family communication. And it is paying off, and we're really proud and excited to see that. But continued work on that. And then another recently completed project, we just finalized our bell schedule, our start and stop times for next school year. It seems like a small thing, but it really does make a difference to families, and this is the earliest we have ever communicated it. So I think that helps families really have some sense of stability. It was received well, and tremendous thanks to both our teaching and learning team, our principals who collaborated on it, and our reconfiguration committee. We had a really successful parent committee, and I sent out the bell schedule communication and only had one question around it from families. They were really supportive and grateful that the work has culminated in something that they feel confident about. This is a big change that we're pulling off next year, and people, for the most part, seem to be pretty confident in that change. So that's been great to see. I'll turn it over to Danny.
Okay, so for community engagement, one of the things since we saw you last that was a success was our kindergarten connection. We welcomed 91 students into Rivermill last week. The place was full of all of these wonderful upcoming students. It was a sight to see. Knowing that with the reconfiguration, those students were no longer going to be split between Surrey and Rivermill. It's a lot to see that many students running through the halls and enjoying their time there, but also giving those families that are maybe transitioning over to Rivermill for the first time an opportunity to see the building, meet the admin, and then allow us an opportunity to introduce the district to newer families. It was wonderful, and we really enjoyed it. One of the great highlights of it is that we collaborated with the transportation team to have a bus on site and a driver. So there was a line outside the bus for the entire event for students to come and just sit like this sweet boy on the photo with his dad out the window. We know that pickup and drop off is a point of concern for a lot of families, especially with the distribution of the students this next year. So any opportunity that we have to encourage families to take advantage of our bus routes and how, ease concerns of sending your little kindergartner on the bus, but they loved it. And so we're hoping that maybe that, settled some nerves, and maybe they are going to request to ride the bus the first day of school. So we're excited to have our first cohort as like Rivermill Rangers. So it'll be interesting, and the numbers are looking good for enrollment. So as always, growing, and we're excited. Let's see. So earlier today, Maggie and I had an opportunity to attend a City of Estacada stakeholder event. We were asked to come and just give an update to some local leaders. There was some community members and other organizations. We provided updates on all of the important topics that are happening that you guys are all very aware of. So budget, reconfiguration, new policies, what we're looking at for next year. It's just always a great opportunity to share our wins and what we're dealing with here at the district with the broader community. We appreciate the collaboration that we're having with the city and them bringing us in. It's great to show the wins that we're having while we're still working through the concerns and the struggles that we told the community about during our bond measure. So that obviously gets brought up at all of these events. So it's good for us to say, the needs are still there. Here's our wins. We're still doing a great job, but we still need community support. So that was a success. As we mentioned, CT night is on Friday with the collaboration of Barbecue Barn. We are going to be offering food to anybody who comes. We would love to see incoming freshmen arrive so that they can see what opportunities they have for forecasting for next year. when they get to go into the high school, but also community members to see what we have in our shops, what we're doing, what our goals are, being able to see students show the work that they're learning currently and then what our hopes are for the future. This is something that Erin is really working on and that we're hoping will be something we'll do every year and eventually become some sort of fundraiser so that we can have the community come in and see the growth that we've had from this initial event. So May 8th, Friday at 6. And then Early Childhood Day is on Saturday, May 30th. This is for families with 5 and under age kiddos. We really like to go and have early connections with families and make sure we can answer questions about the district and meet everybody that hopefully will be entering our doors shortly. So that is it for me.
All
Any
right,
questions?
Questions?
Just participation percentage of the parent survey?
Percentage is a tough one. Our goal was 400 and we were just shy of 400. It's tricky to calculate what percent of our families it is because we asked them to do one survey per school that they have kids at. So if they have 5 kids at Rivermill, we're only getting 1 survey. But if they have 3 kids at 3 different schools, we're getting 3 surveys. So it's hard to know. In the past, we've gotten around 450, in that 350 to 450 range, so I always push for in the 400s, and we fell just shy of 400. I would like to see more participation. We tend to see more in the fall than in the spring, so we have some ideas for how we can continue to improve participation, but Clackamas River knocked it out of the park this time. They got really good participation, so that's an opportunity for us to look at Clackamas River and say, what did you do? I think they did a contest to kind of incentivize filling out the survey, so that's an opportunity to look at them and recreate that across the other schools.
Thanks, Meg.
Yeah.
So Friday night, Commons?
Friday night, starting in the Commons,
Okay.
yeah. And we'll have free food, so please show up, bring your friends, bring your neighbors. We're
What-
excited
what
to
are you
have
serving?
folks.
Barbecue Barn is
Oh,
working
that'd
with
be
us.
cool.
We're excited for their sponsorship, and we know that community members like to show up to get a free meal, and we appreciate that partnership, and we're hoping to see a lot of people, but we'll start in the Commons, and then we'll have tours of each of the classrooms, and we'll do a
Sounds
rotation.
good.
Yeah.
Now, what about how long does a tour take, let's say?
I believe, I was just looking at the agenda, I think it's 10 or 15 minutes per, so we're gonna rotate, so if you need to leave early, you can peel off, but we're gonna do 4 tour rotations, and I believe they're around 15 minutes each.
Oh, okay, so about an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people would like to know, so, yeah.
We plan to have everyone in bed by around 8.
Good luck.
Hey, watch it.
Check John.
Maybe you.
I'm up at 5 in the morning.
Question on the pre-K, daycare is probably not the right term, other childcare that is in our buildings currently, and how is that being reconfigured along with what we are doing as a district? I'm sorry that I haven't paid more attention.
Ryan, can you go into further depth on that one?
Yeah, so we have we have a pre-K program and a daycare program called Tiny Timbers, who we're in partnership with. Due to budgetary factors, we have made the determination to reduce the pre-K program, which was partially funded by a nonprofit organization called Todos Juntos. And our why behind that is the state of Oregon only funds through dollars kindergarten through 12th grade. So while economic times were great and we were in a stronger financial state, we were able to offer that service to, up to 25 families to help them get ready for kindergarten. But that was one of the first things to be reduced because we weren't receiving funding for that. So that's that program, and our determination has been finalized and notified, and we're moving forward with that. The second program is called Tiny Timbers, and they're a growing daycare service owned by a local resident of Estacada, and currently they inhabit basically one whole portable at Rivermill Elementary School, which contains 2 classrooms, and they also have a spot at Clackamas River Elementary as well. And they purchased the old Red Barn preschool, if you recall, a year ago. And so as we reconfigure, we've been in communication with Tiny Timbers about their location. Because Clackamas River is going to be pretty large, 3rd through 5th grade, we are reclaiming that space for the district and for a classroom. And so we're in the process, and this is being led by Jennifer Berman, but we're in the process of determining how much space is available for them at Rivermill, which will be smaller next year than it is currently.
Gotcha.
Yep, and that is a paid opportunity for parents who want after-school daycare or preschool during the day.
I think one of the things we are seeing with our community, as we weren't able to pass a bond measure and we're seeing a growing community, is that we can only alleviate the pain of the growth for so long, and some of these extra programs that aren't K-12 education are starting to see the pressure of that growth, and our community is going to start seeing that more. I think our district has done a really wonderful job of being proactive and being creative with space, but there's only so much creativity we can do to stretch the space we have.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
any other questions?
Just quick feedback on Kindergarten Connection.
Yeah.
Every Sunday, I'm at the same restaurant typically, and there's this person that works there that is moving out to Estacada.
Awesome.
And that connection, Kindergarten Connection, was the big moment for them. And back on that picture, you know, you're getting that young man ready to ride the bus, but the parent's equally as nervous.
Yes.
And so I think you guys are making an equally big impact on the parents, and getting
Well said.
over dropping their kids off was her feedback.
Yeah.
I never thought about it that way, but
Yeah,
that was a comment I got back from her.
great.
Cool.
That's
All
awesome.
right, all right, thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, Finance and Accountability Report.
Okay, well, first we'll start off with our enrollment report. It is actually staying relatively flat, still over what we had originally told ODE, what we were going to expect for this year. And in May is when they do what is called the May adjustment. And so they recalculate us for the current year, as well as recalculating all of last year and making any kind of final adjustments. So in May, we get the state school fund, the May adjustment, which we've already pre-calculated to be positive for us. It can be negative on occasion, and that's when it's called the May surprise. And then we also get our second installment of our high-cost disability student payment from there, which is a pretty sizable payment. All that being said, that is our last state school fund payment. We received that about May 15th. We do not receive a payment in June. No one does. And we receive 2 in July to make up for that. And that's been a process that's been going on since the last recession as an effort to save cash at the state level. Your financial report is roughly, I mean, as we get closer to the end of the year, this looks closer and closer to what how we're gonna finish out. So, right now, our ending fund balance is looking at about 4.8. We are hoping to get that up to 5.5, 5.6 to have a solid beginning fund balance in the budget for next year. We do have a little bit of flexibility in that transfers out number, because as different programs, that is like a cap for as many transfers out that we can go. So as programs improve their efficiency, or if they don't need as much transfers in to make their budgets balance, or their funds balance, then we can retain some of that. So I think realistically, we're going to get very close to that number.
That's your gut feel, getting 5.5?
Yeah, 5.6. I'm going to go with 5.6. I need it to be 5.6.
It needs to be 5.6.
Yeah, it needs to be 5.6.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got a couple of ways to get it to 5.6. So I'm going to work hard on that.
I'm glad you hired him.
I'm going to work really hard to get that to 5.6. And then my written report, one thing I did want to highlight in the written report is next month, we have overspent our budget in the broad functional category of instruction. If you're going to overspend the general fund budget in a category, you want it to be in instruction. I think it was mostly due to the fact that we had more than a couple of long-term subs coming in and that were not budgeted for. So we are going to do a budget adjustment by resolution. I think you've done those before here in this district, so we'll have that ready for you next board meeting. I know last month I put it in my board report that we're gonna shoot to have it done this month, but we have some other instructional expenditures that are coming out, and we need to know how much money is coming in from the state with the May adjustment before we present that to you. We only want to do it once, and so we just needed a little bit more data for that. And then also, I am pleased to report that we did a RFP for audit services, and we did have 2 respondents. So if anybody on the board would like to participate in reviewing those respondents with myself, Dr. Carpenter, and others, please just let me know via email, or you can talk to me after the meeting tonight. We will likely do that virtually, so it will be a lot less intensive than what we were doing for a CMGC. It'll essentially be reading about a 8-page proposal and then choosing between 2 respondents. So we can probably do that, even all of it virtually, without having to get together unless we found that they were close and we wanted to interview them.
And both of them are new auditing firms.
Yes, yes. So anyway, that's all I have. Are there any questions?
Sign me up for that.
Okay.
Same.
Okay, great, thank you. Will do.
Question on, the budget meeting prior to this one,
Sure.
and the local funding dropping, what's the primary reason of that?
The local funding dropping is mostly due to, there's 2 areas. One is the beginning fund balance falls under that area. So we had a budget amount of, what was it, 6.5, 6.6?
Something like that.
Last year into the current year. So that's significantly down because we went from, let's call it 6.6, I think is what the number was originally. And this year, it's going to be, we were just talking, it's gonna be 5.6, so that reduces some there. And then the amount of money for investment income was overstated in last year's budget. So I think we had, in last year's budget, which is for the current year that we're in, expected to get somewhere in the nature of $450,000 in investment earnings. Investment rates have gone down. We will likely finish that out in around the high 300,000 range.
That's a dangerous line to budget.
Yes.
Yeah.
It always is.
Oh, it is,
Yeah.
absolutely.
We kind of keep a placeholder, but
You don't,
Can't count
and
on
you
that.
don't want to over budget those. Neither of those 2, you don't want to over budget. So we have taken a very conservative approach to that in this current year's budget. It's unfortunately, because it causes a little bit of pain to do that, because we're just not sure what that number is going to look like.
And I think your question was around property taxes, correct?
Yeah, it was one of the charts
Yeah.
that said that the local section of revenue had dropped by a percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the property tax revenue has increased. So our property tax revenue is a part of local revenue. Those 2 areas that I talked about, local revenue, that includes beginning fund balance, and includes miscellaneous revenue, and it also includes investment income. The biggest part of local revenue in there is property tax, both current property tax and last property tax. And both of those have increased. I think we were looking at about 4.25%, which is growth in receipts of that money. And so that's a pretty good growth rate. But when you think that the minimum growth rate really with Measure 5, Measure 50 in a normal economy is about 3.0%, it's just a little bit above that, right? Yeah. So, you know, it's not a 6%. We have seen in this district, and I know in past districts that I've worked with that have been high growth as well, we've seen in the 5s and the 6s and the 6.5s. But this year, we're not seeing that. So that's telling me economically that we're slowing down in terms of that. Now, you know, obviously, you know how the property taxes work when a developer, you know, puts a property into play from raw land. We're just kind of in that little spot of zone where there's a lot of ground prep for stuff, but we just haven't seen a number of building permits or anything like that yet.
Gotcha. Last thing from a federal standpoint, I know there's a big push to open federal forest ground, whether it's Forest Service or BLM ground. And and it's gonna be a lag before we ever see any dollars at this level, but at your finance level at the state or federally, are you hearing of any influx of funds coming in from that? On
Not
the
yet,
future?
not at
Or
this
for the
point.
future?
There was a renewal of the, one of the things that has hit the news is that there was a renewal of the Forest Fees Act, which was essentially an act that protected rural districts, very rural districts, and I'm sure Estacada qualified to a certain extent, but I'm thinking more like the John Days of the world and those types of things.
Southern Oregon's a big one.
Yeah, where a majority of their land is federally controlled, because a lot of that revenue outside of the, all that revenue that they sell, you know, when they sell those, the trees on that land, doesn't come to schools. And so that particular Rural Schools Security Act was recently renewed. It had been dormant for 8 years, I believe, somewhere in that, maybe 10. But anyway, that had recently renewed, so there was some increase in federal money that was coming in through the state to rural districts. But we wouldn't qualify for that.
Okay.
Now, as more cutting happens, is there more opportunity for that, for, you know, to have kind of a broader impact? Yes. But unless I'm mistaken, I'm not sure we're gonna see a noticeable increase in that in the next coming years.
Gotcha.
I mean, the main one is gonna be just through jobs and growth in the community from that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Not a question, but just a comment on that cash flow analysis that you started providing to us. I think that's been very helpful. So I
Oh, great.
appreciate you bringing that. It gives us that kind of that 12-month look and a better ability to look ahead
Right.
and see what those numbers are. Because I'm looking through here and I'm like, I don't have any questions because I've asked questions throughout the years. We've seen those come up. So I know it will just get better and better as you are directly involved in setting that and not basing it off of somebody else's previously. But I appreciate that because I think it lays it out very well.
Great, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Any other questions, comments? All right, thanks, Scott. Next up is F, student superintendent's report.
Yes, thank you. And I'm going to try my best to abbreviate the superintendent's report tonight because we've been here for a couple hours working through some very important things. I do want to start by thanking Scott Pillar for a great budget, a quality budget, and great budget communication. I thought that was one of our most effective, efficient, and healthy budgeting processes led by Scott and his great team who we've collected as talent inside our organization. It's a good budget. The Estacada School District is in far better shape than many school districts around our surrounding area, but we are still feeling the pain of growing costs, expenses, and all of the above. So just for public, I just want to thank the Budget Committee who did approve the first edition of our budget prospects, and it's now moving to the executive board level where the board will vote on next year's budget next month in the month of June. One of the hot topics that I want to communicate both to the Board of Directors and to the public at large, a couple of weeks ago, Governor Tina Kotek created an executive order on instructional hours, which has had some controversial blowback from not only public school districts, but union organizations and other boards of education in that process. What the crux of the governor's executive order was to ensure that instructional hours already in the books as law are being met as required. It also takes away the inability for school districts to elect to use furlough days as a cost-cutting measure, which we are in support of. This school district does not believe in furlough days because when you cut back on school days, it is the kids who are the victims of that decision. And so we don't believe in that in our school district, and that's why we're in a pretty good shape there. But then lastly, as you compare Oregon's, the state of Oregon's instructional hours to the other 49 states in the United States, Oregon actually has a lower requirement in comparison to many other states when it comes to instructional hours. And so over the next couple of years, the governor's executive order explores moving to a 180-day school year, which is different than the 990 hours that we're required to give. So it converts it from hours to days in terms of that look. Now, some of you might be asking, that's great. We're all for more school days and more opportunities. I'm sure that comes with additional funding to support the extra days that we need to pay to run the operations. And unfortunately, it does not come with additional funding, placing the entire burden on the school districts in that process. And so we are going to continue to watch what that process looks like, but I want to let the community know, and I want to let the executive board of directors know that currently the Estacada School District is above and beyond compliance with the required hours. We anticipate that we're going to be able to maintain our very innovative school calendar for the next couple of years for sure, while the fighting in the legislature occurs as they work through the executive orders of the governor. But our community doesn't need to expect any major or radical changes because we were already in compliance with the law. We have not enacted any furlough days, but some other school districts that are already in deep financial peril who have done furlough days, like Portland Public did 7, Gladstone did 5, Canby's doing a couple. In addition to their budget shortfall, they have to restore those furlough days by next year, which is a double whammy for some districts in some difficult spots. And so I'm grateful that we've been disciplined, as Chair Rydell talked about in the Budget Committee. We've been intentional, and because of that, we're also able to take this blow without any impact to our community or our students or our employees. And so I just wanted to share that with you, that this is not a stress point for us. Cool. 3 more things. This is abbreviated. I do want to just say publicly and on record and to the Executive Board of Directors as well, since we've seen improved weather, meaning springtime, summertime is here and things are getting warmer, we are seeing an exponential increase in children riding e-bikes to school and on campus. And this is becoming quite problematic for the community and the school district. And I've spoken with our families, both electronically via different communications through our great communications department and on Facebook Live. Of course, the wintertime came, so there was a reduction in outside e-bike usage, but we are seeing that increase today and the last couple of weeks. We had a pretty catastrophic accident of one of our students who was riding their e-scooter down the very steep Fourth Hill Street. They were not wearing a helmet and were severely injured, which actually required a medevac life flight helicopter to transport them. We've had different bus drivers get on the radio because young children on e-bikes were moving from the sidewalk to the road to the sidewalk to the road as our great big yellow buses are trying to transport really thousands of kids at that very moment, which is becoming dangerous. And actually last Thursday at the most recent track meet, which not only had our 108 track students, but it also had 12 other teams at that track meet, so you can imagine how full it was. We had a student on their e-bike literally ride the bike right across the track and through the football field in between the track, and we had to halt the track meet for that. And so I need to convey to the board, as well as I need to convey to the community, that this is behavior that we need to educate, stop, and move forward in terms of what next looks like as we engage this new style of illegal transportation, because it is illegal. If your child is less than 16 years old, it is illegal for them to be on any e-bike. And so I just wanted to let the board know that I'm working with the chief of police for Estacada, our school resource officer, and the city of Estacada to talk about what fines, citations, and other types of accountability measures the district has at its disposal as we try to make this place safe. The Estacada School District is not anti-e-bike. We are for safety, and we need to do some different changes in order to monitor and hold accountable those who are violating those safeties and rules. So I wanted to share that with the board, as well as also telegraph the direction this school district is going publicly to the community. While I pull up this data from a request from Vice Chair Johnston, I want to echo Chair Rydell's accolades of high school prom. I love that prom was well attended, and I love that prom was fun, but what I love most of all is that prom was safe. For any superintendent, prom night is one of the worst night sleeps of the year because I just expect a 2 a.m. phone call. I expect a 1 a.m. phone call of those types of things. And so I want to give tremendous praise to our student body and to the high school leadership and administration who put together a safe prom yet again for another great and successful year. And so I just wanted to share that as well, that we had another safe and successful prom. And then lastly, Vice Chair Johnson requested some data on the percentage breakdown of what our budget pays for administration and district office in comparison with some national norms. And the most recent data is the national norm for administrative costs in a public school district is between 6 and 10%. And next year's budget, the Estacada School District reflects a 6.4% in administrative costs. So this should indicate that we're running relatively lean. And one great example of that currently is your superintendent is also serving as the chief of human resources, the director of operations, and now currently the interim director of transportation. And so we're running lean and mean, but very pleased to be able to share back that data for you. That's your superintendent's report.
Great. Questions or comments?
Do more with less.
Well, I'd say the capacity for you to continue those positions is
For sure.
probably short-lived, right?
You're right. Some of that's temporary.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that the 6.4% is temporary. That
That's
simply
correct.
means what we're double dipping with your time at
Yep.
this present moment.
Yep.
I think that's an important figure for the public to hear,
Yeah.
because not all districts operate at that level.
That's right. Thank you. And thank you for asking that question.
Okay, any other questions, comments? All right, hearing none, moving on. Reports and presentations, we have none. Discussion items, we have none. Hearing of citizens for action items?
None.
We have none. So on to item J, action items. Consent agenda includes a package of one or more items to be voted on as a unit. However, if any board member is not in favor of one or more agenda items and prefers to take separate action, request of the chair anytime prior to the vote will remove that item for a separate vote. So can we get a motion on the consent agenda?
Chair Adele, I move to accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. You do have
Yeah, I did have a comment on just one of the resolutions to hire. The date is incorrect, or it's missing
Oh, thank you.
the 2026. I don't think it's anything that would stop us from.
Okay.
It just says 202-2027.
Thank
So it's
you.
missing the 6.
Okay.
All right.
And thank you, Vice Chair Johnson, for your attention to detail.
I saw it too. I just wanted you to go and bring it up.
Yeah.
All right, any other discussion? Move second and discussed, all in favor, raise your right hand.
Motion carries.
On to item K, to appoint David Cross as an alternate.
Chair Rydell, I move to approve David Cross as an alternate budget committee member.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Ryan, do you want to?
Yeah, I'll yield some opportunity here for Scott Pillar.
The actual, you may want to rephrase the motion because there is no functional thing in Oregon budget law that allows for alternate budget committee members.
Okay.
So the phraseology of having an alternate budget committee member, you may want to just put him in as a budget committee member.
Okay.
We have some budget committee members on the current list. Some of these folks that were sitting in front of us are actually going to term off at the end of June this year. So if you could put more budget committee members on, but you just can't, the phrase alternate doesn't really apply. So
Okay.
I would appoint him as a budget
As a
committee
budget
member.
committee member?
We'll put him in a staggered stat, which actually just fulfills the role of somebody who wasn't here.
Okay, and we're okay from adding an eighth to that?
Yeah.
We
Okay,
need to vote that down, or?
so I would assume.
No,
we
I
need to-
think we're good. Yeah, do they need to vote that down and rephrase it?
Well, yeah, technically, you don't have to
Yeah.
vote it down, you could just let it die, and not call for a vote, and then just ask for a new motion, and then do it.
We've got a motion and a
move, second,
second,
discuss.
so
I think
we gotta-
we don't
gotta do it.
disagree enough, so let's say
Yeah,
no
let's
now.
throw a
Okay,
no out
all right,
there.
yeah, so
Yep.
you can call for the vote, and
Yeah.
then
All right.
do it again.
So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, raise your right hand.
Oh, you gotta do the no vote
You
first.
gotta do the no vote.
Yeah,
All those not in favor?
and scream nay.
Nay.
Okay, try it
Okay.
again.
Let's try it again. So we just want to modify that, take out alternate.
Chair Idell, I move to approve David Cross as a budget committee member.
Second.
Moved and seconded. So thank you, Scott, for that. Appreciate that. Make sure we're staying in line and staying in order. And again, great problem to have. We've got more people that want to be on the budget committee, so we'll
It is
take it
amazing.
all day long. So any other discussion needed? All in favor, raise your right hand.
Motion carries.
On to I, hearing of citizens for non-action items.
Done.
All right. Anything else?
Can we talk graduation, like, big dates? While we're all
can.
sitting here?
Yep. Do
As
either
far
of you
as
have
what we
those?
should be at as a board?
Does somebody have those handy? I know we got, it's in our email.
Denise and or Danny and Maggie certainly do.
And we don't have to do this, as long as it's in the email.
No, no, I
I
think
just want it to be on
It's
the.
in, yeah.
I attached it in our chat. I'm
Okay.
trying to pull it up. It's been a little bit ago.
And then the other thing is, board elections, leadership elections. Is that gonna be in August?
It'll be in August.
Okay.
Yeah, because as a reminder, we recess, we've done this for the last several years, we recess in
Been
July.
probably 5 now.
And so I haven't heard any comments to change that, so we will, again, recess in July.
And nobody was on the May ballot, so we're okay for a while, just for basic board members, right?
Yep. Do you have dates, Danny?
I have dates for you.
Let's hear 'em.
Let's see. The I've Decided Senior Celebration is on Wednesday, June 3rd. And Baccalaureate is Wednesday, June 10th at 6:30 PM. Grace Crossing Bible Church. Senior Breakfast is Thursday, June 11th.
We're more the lunch thing, right, not the breakfast thing, right?
Correct. Yep.
Oh, senior lunch is June 12th or at 11.
June 12th and 11th, that's a good one, thank you.
And that's the one the board pays for and serves.
I did hop over it, but I want to note June 11th, that Thursday, at 10:30 is the grad walk. So of course you're invited, but the community is invited to that as well. It's always awesome. And the graduation ceremony is Saturday, June 13th at 7 o'clock. The gates open at 6. And then there will be a fireworks display again this year. Rivermill Elementary at 9:15.
Okay.
Thank
And we
you.
want to meet at your office at 6, graduation day?
Yes.
Anybody know they're not going to be there? Thank you, Danny.
Yep.
I'll be coming from Jake's graduation, but
Okay.
I'll
He's
be there.
graduating college
It's been
already?
4 years.
Apparently.
That's awesome.
All right.
Congratulations, Joe.
Thank you for that.
Yep. All right. That's it. Thank you very much.